having a beautiful Monday. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. I hope you're having a beautiful Monday. So, we had one beautiful day this week in Vermont, like 70 degrees. And guess what? It went down to like 30 yesterday. It was raining and snowing. It ended up snowing for most of the day. And as I understand it, we have a couple of more weeks easily, and it may even go into May, of chilly weather. I mean, come on now. Just saying. Okay, so a few of you, I got a few things we're going to cover here. Um, and I covered on another channel, but I just kind of want to throw it out to you here. And I want to cover about the Morgan horse farm. So we'll start off with that article. But first, guys, sorry about my hair. So this is why I don't go to beauticians. They cannot deal with it. It's not even. It's wavy and curly and all over the place. And then some days it's if I can manipulate it right, I can get it straight most of the day. But it's still on waving in the wind there. Okay, guys, so a couple things. I'm going to be doing, I mentioned in my last video, I'm going to be doing a name change for the channel. I don't know why people don't like or even understand when I say sun and shade. Vermont sun, Vermont good news. Shade, not so good news. That's, now, but this is the difference. So a couple things. I'm asking you, in a civil manner, to send me names that you think we can call it. And this is what it has to kind of portray. It has to convey the idea that we are going to be covering not just Vermont news. I want to be able to cover things outside of Vermont that may be especially interesting. Hi, Azon. Azron, how are you today? So, I thought of things like Vermont Plus or Vermont and more or Vermont and New England, but that kind of limits us again to New England. Saying Vermont, just Vermont, limits us to Vermont. Now, there's so much to cover in Vermont that we continue to put it as the primary subject. Okay, it's a primary subject. One thing I want to start covering are cafes. And this is the reason in art venues, cafes and art venues. I found a diamond in the rough minutes from here, and I'm absolutely astounded. It's an art venue. So we're going to go cover that. And there's a few more around that I want to be able to cover. Yeah, grandma. Grandma. A lot of people are calling me grandma on here. That's fine. As long as that's what you call. Keep it nice. So I want to cover the cafes because there's tons of cafes. A number of cafes have closed. We saw just the other day, I put on here on Vermont Sun and Shade that the Kestrel Cafe closed in Burlington. So the start, that was a number of months ago, the Black Cap Cafe closed in Burlington. So there's a number of them. Now the Kestrel, that's an excellent, they have excellent food. They're over on Airport Road, guys. Check them out. And you wouldn't even know they're there. That's the thing. Sometimes it's location, like if you've been around a while, then you find these places. But yeah, so that's the Kestrel Cafe. And so we'll cover different art venues and different cafes. And today I'm kind of starting that series, okay? And of course, many other things. And today, one of them is the Morgan Horse Farm. I want to talk to you about that. So before we go on, as you know, we've been talking about Vermont artist in Johnson, Vermont, who grew up it and went to the Civil War and grew. He was born here in 1846. His paintings, guys, check it out over on my other channel, my art channel, Echo Art with Carmela. And it is Echo. People correct me and say, no, Carmela, it's Eco. Well, it's Eco and or Echo. I looked it up. I looked it up before I even chose the name. And it's like tomato or tomato. It doesn't make a difference, but you get my drift. I'm not changing the name over there, guys. Not right now. But that's because that's what we do is earth-friendly art over there. So I put Julian Scott's art. Guess what, guys? If anybody out there in Vermont, you're going to a thrift shop, you best be looking for anything that has to do with Julian Scott, because when that house comes down, everything and anything to do with Julian Scott in Vermont is going to go high on value. His paintings right now are selling between 10, 20, 30, up to $50,000 for a painting. And as you know, he painted scenes on the battlefields of the Civil War. So these Civil War collectors are going to go absolutely bonkers in competition with each other when that house comes down, because that's a last standing. So you know the house is on here in the video. So I want to take a couple photos of the house. And you know, I was thinking as an artist, maybe it would be fun to kind of do some drawings of these different historical homes. How this historical home has slipped through the cracks, I don't know. I get that it's in a flood zone, but they could have figured out how to pick it up and move it like they do with most of the houses that they want to. People do that all the time. They pick the homes up with whatever they do to pick up, and it's not a large home at all. So anyway, with that, we're going to be, so I want to hear from you on a name change. What name do you think is a good name to say, to give the idea that we'll be doing, covering things in Vermont, but Vermont and outside of Vermont. So we want to start talking, we want to give ourselves permission to be able to cover other news, okay? Cafes, we're going to be going over cafes. I have a few featured here, and you're going to see me start cleaning out, because on this channel we have, guess what? We have like well over 200 videos. So I think I'm going to go back on some of these and clean them out. So delete some of these that people aren't really looking at, and they're kind of buried at this point on this channel. And then we're going to start featuring some really adorable, long-standing cafes. And I mean where the families have been here for generations. We really want to promote and help the local long-time generation, no, family businesses. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so those two things. Now, the Morgan horse farm. Let's see this article, guys. This is in the Middlebury campus. Does anybody know where Middlebury is in Vermont? Anybody from Middlebury out there, guys? Can I tell you, I love Middlebury. It's a very artsy, artistic town. And okay, so the tourist season has begun at UVM. That's, for those of you who don't know, that's University of Vermont, Morgan Horse Farm. And this is dated April 20th, and it's by the Middlebury campus, the newspaper, their newsletter. So it's written by Phoebe Adler, was written on the 16th. So this is what it says. Oh, first let me show you the picture, guys. Let's look at the picture of the little, if you haven't seen this horse farm, It is just adorable. And there's another one actually close by here. So we'll cover a few of these horse farms. There's a picture of a young horse and the, okay, it's a picture of a few of their horses. And this is what it says. The University of Vermont's Morgan Horse Farm will commence its 2026 tourist season on May 2nd. Write it down. That's what I'm doing right now because, yes, I will bring you there. I don't know if we'll go right on May 2nd, but we will. That's one of the places that I love, and we will be going there. So it will be open until October 27th. The farm is dedicated to preserving and promoting the Morgan horse breed, as well as providing hands-on educational experiences to the general public. The farm has preserved the same herd of Morgan horses. Check this out. Can you guess how long they've had the same lineage of horses? Anybody take a guess? Okay. Nobody's really out there to take a guess. If you're scrolling, we're talking about the Morgan Horse Farm in Vermont. So they've had their Morgan horses there since 1878. That's how far back the lineages go. Originally a privately owned farm by Colonel Joseph Battelle, it became the U.S. government Morgan Farm, excuse me guys, in 1907, before UVM became its steward in 1951. I don't know if they're going to mention, but down in central Vermont, in Randolph, there's a Morgan horse farm too. I don't know if it's the same family. But before UVM became its steward in 1951. So what they're saying is that UVM takes care of the Morgan Horse Farm horses. So that's what I thought. I thought it was set up like that. Operating under the leadership of Director Margot Smithson, the farm has prospered for over 100 years, making it the world's oldest Morgan horse breeding program. Guys, Vermont has so many valuable diamonds in the rough here. People don't realize, I don't know if it's because it's not highly advertised and you need to live here a while before you actually find out these things, or you need to be in just a certain interest group. But these are things that people in general would be very, very interested in visiting and seeing. The lineages of these horses go back to 1878. I'm going to write that down. So with over 40 Morgan horses living there today, the farm serves as a teaching facility for both students and the public. The Morgan Horse Farm offers an apprenticeship program for UVM students, in which the students live on the premises for a year and gain hands-on experience for a breeding herd similar in the size to the Morgan's herd. So when they graduate, if they want to be specializing in horses, they've got the experience. Additionally, the farm offers an internship program for students at institutions other than UVM. So check that out, guys. If you have anybody in your family or you yourself at another college or institution and you want to work with the UVM Morgan horses, check it out. Contact them. And so for those of you who wish to learn more about equine sciences and management, Margot Smithson explained that the Morgan Horse Farm currently operates as an active breeding and training farm, offering numerous learning opportunities for interested students and providing educational opportunities for the visitors. So as a visitor, you can go over there and learn and take some lessons about the horses, or you can just see the horses. Smithson also explained the process of raising and eventually selling some of the horses once they're old enough. We take the natural talents and the attributes of each foal and mash them up with a partner that's going to take them in a direction. It says mash. I think they meant to say match. It says MASH, and I think they meant to say match them up with a partner that is going to take them in a direction that they're best suited for in the world. That's the main point of our mission. It is to preserve and promote the Morgan horse. And so part of that breeding of them as a sales horses for people to go and find their Morgan partner to do cool stuff with. Okay. Joseph Patel thought Morgan horses were the best driving horses of all time, Smithson said. He just dedicated himself for breeding them. As for the Morgan breed, they are a rich history dating back to the early days of the United States. There's a Marguerite Henry book called, this is the title of the book if you're interested, guys, Justin Morgan Had a Horse. And I'm pretty sure his house is in central Vermont. We're going to look it up in a moment, in Randolph. So that horse was later called Justin Morgan. And the horse, of course, after the owner. And he kind of created, through really strong genes, this type of horse that was called the Morgan horse. And it was bred widely in Vermont and New England. So he crossbred, but they're not telling us what the other breed was, what the breeds were. Let me look that up because I'm super interested right now. Let's see. For you horse lovers. So the Morgan horse breed originated from a single foundation stallion. This is AI I'm reading, named Figure. That was the name of the horse, guys, Figure, in 1789. Figure's exact pedigree is unknown, but his type indicates it was likely a mixture, check this out, of thoroughbred Arabian. Let me show you the pictures here. Hold on. Let me put my coffee over here. Thoroughbred Arabian, Welsh Cob, and Dutch or Frisian ancestry. This is a couple of pictures of the horses that Morgan took his horse. The topic is the Morgan Horse Farm in Vermont. And if you love horses, we just went over what is the Justin Morgan horse made up of, like what are the breeds. And we just read it's a mixture of thoroughbred Arabian, Welsh Cob, and Dutch. So I find that super interesting. Okay, now back to the article, which we're almost done with, guys. But it's very interesting, isn't it? The alignment of the Morgan horse breed and the United States is particularly striking, making the breed quintessentially New England, in particular Vermont horse, which is kind of interesting since it's an Arabian thoroughbred mixed in. The Figure was born in 1789, which is the same year the U.S. Constitution was ratified. So the breed is connected to the early days of the United States, and definitely New England, especially Vermont. And that's why the Morgan horse is the state animal of Vermont, because of its history and because of the legacy of the Morgan horse. So, you know, in the Civil War, a lot of the Vermonters were one of the first to march down and participate and be in that war. Formal tours of the Morgan Horse Farm have existed since about 1970s. And although Smithson mentioned that before, members of the public often came to see the horses. During the USDA's tenure of the farm, they would do applied agricultural research and demonstrations. So that was always a history of people coming and seeing the Morgan farm, and they would hold for each day. A couple of times a year, they would show off the breeding stock. So over time, we've kept it going. A lot of it's the same, honestly, as it was back then, and then we've made a lot of improvements as well, and well as a guest experience, but the heart of it is the same, which is teaching about the Morgans and their connection to Vermont. So additionally, Smithson emphasized the importance of educating the visitors on the environmental impact of the farm. And especially today, guys, the water table in Vermont is rising all the time. And they keep trying to work on the different river banks and river bodies of water to keep it down. It seeps right up through the earth in places that you normally wouldn't have seen it. So additionally, Smithson emphasized the importance of educating visitors. What I want to continue to involve in the story of the farm is how we manage the entire facility, Smithson said. We have 200 acres, and so how we bring a good steward of the land and the forest ecosystem, and how does that integrate with the horses? Because it's not just about pretty Morgans, it's about how we're taking care of them in the land. And I want people to have understanding of the larger system and how important that is to protect and take care of agricultural programs. This goes hand in hand exactly what I'm doing with my art. I promote creating art with recycled materials to give our earth a little hug and to deter these things from going in the landfill. Use what we have. That's just one way, guys. So I love what they're doing. We'll have to go out there. Look, the whole article, and at the beginning and at the end, it doesn't even say where this farm is. It says UVM. I'm going to tell you where it is, okay? And then I'm going to get the address. So if any of you are in Vermont and you know Vermont, you know there's the University of Vermont campus. It's huge. So they really should be saying where the farm is. But there is, if you're coming from South Burlington, guys, okay, you can go right to the UVM Medical Center, the hospital. You can go straight going downtown to Burlington, or you can go left. And at that intersection there, when you go left, you're going straight to the UVM Morgan Horse Farm. Now there's two of them. Let's look up here, and they're not saying in the article anything about where it is. So I'm going to just get that. UVM Morgan Horse Farm. Let's get the website right up here so you can see. We'll go over this website. Beginning, okay, this gives us just a little bit more detail. Beginning May 2nd, visitors are welcome between the hours of 10 and 4. So let's write that down. So I love horses, and I've ridden them a few different times. Well, more than half a dozen times in my life. Love, love, love horses. But so between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., 7 days a week. 7 days a week, guys. You do not need to make a reservation. Just come at a time that works for you. Tours are about 30 minutes. And to see if I can get a price for you. And they run promptly on the hour. And the first one starts at 10 a.m. And the last one is at 3. So let's see. Here's another picture of one of their horses and people. You can see the farm really well from the road. Also, you can drive by it and just see this beautiful, beautiful scenery. So let's see here. Okay, these are the rates. I'm going to read to you right now from the website what the rates are if you're interested in visiting the horse farm. So adults are $10. Youth from 5 to 17 are $7. Kids are totally free, so that's 0 to 4 years old. UVM ID holders, senior citizens, moi, military, and Addison County residents are $8.50. So we get some money off. We get $1.50 off. So I'm going to be running to this. So when I go to this, I'll bring you with me. We'll do a video on it for sure. Admission fees to the grounds are paid upon arrival in the gift shop located on the lobby of the main barn. Check our events. They have foal days. Those are the babies, baby horses. That's every Saturday. That might be a good day to check out. Saturdays are the babies. Vermont Day, that's just one day, guys. That's August 1st. They're open 10 to 2. And then the Day of the Morgan is October 24th. And that's these are event days. And they're open 10 to 2. So the foal days is every single Saturday. And they're saying that's an event day. So who knows what they have on the events? Maybe music, maybe different things going on. So visiting the UVM Morgan Horse Farm it's located in the small village of Weybridge, just a few miles from downtown Middlebury. The main campus of UVM is located in Burlington. So that's the one I'm talking about. And I think, so I have telephone number here I'm going to give to you, and I myself am going to call because I would very much like to know. I think it's Weybridge that we'd have to drive to, guys, to for the special events. And I want to know if there's anything going on in the main farm, the one that I drive by and that is there like forever. And I do believe they have different things that go on there, but we'll have to find out. So that's the Morgan Horse Farm. So this is the address it gives. Are you ready? Just rewind if you need. It's 74 Battelle Drive, Battell, and that's in Weybridge of Vermont. Okay, so it's near Middlebury, guys. So so that's a different location than I thought, but there is also the main farm located next to the university is the direction I had given you. Now it gives driving directions here. The farm is flanked on 2 sides by small bridges, and when you're traveling on Seymour Street or Campground Road to Pearson Road. Our recommendation is to go to Little Middlebury. Now, to get to Middlebury, it's very simple. Seriously, it's just the most adorable little town. There's a bakery and a cafe there. So this is where the event farm is, and there's actually another location, and they're not giving it here. And that would be where Justin Morgan grew or lived, and that would be in central Vermont. So a recommendation is to travel through Middlebury on Route 125, and just before the Middlebury College campus, you go to Route 23 towards Weybridge. Now, when you get into the little town of Middlebury, it's very weird, guys. It is. It is. I've actually never seen it. The town itself is like an H, and then like a horseshoe, and it's so you're trying to get somewhere, and because the signs are directing you just all one way for a little while, you're like, how do I get over there? Just heads up. But it's so tiny that you can turn around and figure it out. So after about a mile and a half, take a right onto Pulp Mill Bridge Road and continue straight to the Morgan Horse Farm Road. They have signs up there, guys, but I am going to give them a call because I want to know if they have events a little bit closer over near the college. So that is about the Morgan Horse Farm. So look it up, guys. And if you're in or around Vermont, take a visit, kind of go over there. And it's just, the country itself is gorgeous, but the horses are gorgeous. And it's just a lot of fun. And it's not that expensive. It's $10 for adults and freebies for 0 to 4. And what did we say? Senior citizens and a number of other groups are only $8.50, so that's pretty good. And Saturdays are the event days. And I'm not sure, it doesn't go into detail on the event, but I'm sure you can get something to eat and drink like that there. I'm guessing. I'm going to call them and find out. And when I do the next video, I'll make sure I follow up on that. So with that, guys, you have an absolutely beautiful day. I'll be back on here with some information on Julian Scott House after I talk to the Historical Society today or tomorrow, depending when I can get in touch with people there. And we're going to find out, is there anything they're doing to save that house altogether? And I know Howard Coffin is advocating for that. He writes civil war books, that I know, because I'm not a Civil War expert. I haven't dived in and read his books, but he's a very well-known author, and he's saying, hey, don't knock that house down. So anyway, with that, I hope you have a beautiful day, and thank you for being with me. And don't forget, send me some ideas you have on changing the name of the channel, and so that it's Vermont, and I want to say other news. I don't want to call it that, Vermont and other news, but Vermont, so that we're including other news around the world. And just to kind of, because some people do come here and they like to get little news bits. So with that, I hope you have a beautiful day.